Here and Now, the program featuring the news and interests of the African American community.
Harlem Grown is a nonprofit that focuses on inspiring youth to lead healthier, more environmentally conscious lives. Joining us today is the CEO of Harlem Grown, Tony Hillary, along with Sharon Davis, President and CEO of S.J. Edwards, Inc. Thank you both for being with us. It is nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
And if you're back, I'm assuming it's good news.
Oh, yeah. It's always good news. Always good news, and glad to be here.
So the program's bigger and better than ever.
Oh, yeah. We're really evolving, but so is the need that we face. So as much as we do, there's still much to be done.
Talk to folks a little bit about what Harlem Grown does. I'm trying to get you to brag. You walked in here talking to me about how many gardens you have now? 13?
Yes.
And now all of a sudden you've gotten your tongue tied.
Well, we plant fruits and vegetables, but we grow healthy children in sustainable communities through farming. Farming in Harlem, yes. We grow tons of food. It's all free of charge with nutrition education, nutrition guidance, cooking demonstration, but a heavy dose of mentoring. So I always say we only plant fruits and vegetables, but we grow healthy children in sustainable communities.
Are you surprised that, you started this little project and it's just growing, and that, kids have stuck with it and I'm assuming brought in friends and...
Yes, surprise is an understatement. I walked into a school 12 years ago with no plan, no agenda, just time to fill. I met kids just like mine, exactly like mine, except where they live. But because of where they live, their whole track in life is different. In the richest city in the country, if not the world, that's unacceptable. So 12 years later, I'm still here. We have dozens of kids, first generation in four-year universities, a couple are graduating this year, one in NYU, studying abroad in Abu Dhabi right now, all from this program.
Yeah. And one of the reasons you're here, Sharon, is because, running a program like this successfully does take funding. Talk to me a little bit about how it is. I think you guys got a major grant, and you were instrumental in helping all of that work out.
Right. Well, with what we've been through over the last couple of years, everybody's struggling and suffering, losing loved ones, and businesses in particular, and nonprofits as well, were impacted by COVID-19. They had to shut down, they couldn't provide services, and the coronavirus definitely had a negative impact on the whole community. So what the government did is they set up something called the CARES Act. And in that CARES Act, there was some programs there was one called the PPP, which a lot of people took advantage of, and there was something called the ERC. Now, when they set up the program, you could not qualify for both of them. So the PPP was widely used, and the ERC was not used as well. But they loosened it up down the road and said, now you can have PPP and the ERC. A lot of people didn't know that. So I immediately got on the phone and started calling my clients and go, did you know about this ERC? Did you qualify? Did you apply? And nobody knew about it.
And what is the ERC?
Employee Retention Tax Credit.
Okay.
And the government says if you kept your employees on in 2020 and 2021, and you qualify, you can get up to $26,000 per employee, as long as they're W-2 employees. And all they do is amend your 941s, they make it a 941X, and you get a refund. It's cash in hand. And nobody knew about this. It was amazing to me. So
I need her phone number.
Yes.
But it was such a pleasure being able to say something positive to organizations like Harlem Grown who have suffered.
And how much money are we talking about that went to...
Over $400,000, almost $500,000.
Oh my goodness.
So when I heard that, I jumped for joy, because I believe in this organization. They don't do just the hard work, they do the heart work. And they're saving our future and our children, so we do appreciate that. So whenever I'm dealing with a nonprofit, I really get excited. So I really did jump for joy.
and
Me too.
What can you do with that kind of money?
Oh my goodness. We can implement more programmings. We could subsidize. All of our programming is based on the financial requirements of the students. So we make it simple. If a child qualifies for free food in school, they qualify for free Harlem Grown. So we underwrite every program. Summer camp is our most expensive program by far. It's almost $8,000 per student in the 7 weeks all throughout the summer. because our children are most vulnerable in out-of-school time. They're good at home, they're good in school, but what about out of school?
Yeah.
That's where we step in. Weekends, school breaks, summer camp, so we can have more children in camp with this 400,000.
Instead of running around on the street being
Absolutely.
exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just if you could, talk a little bit more specifically about the various programs.
Oh, we have 7 streams of direct programming for our students. Like I said, out-of-school time is very, very important. So we have our mobile teaching kitchen that goes out into the community and teaches children nutritious education, Saturday drop-in programs. We have after-school programming. We're about to roll out a full, robust after-school program in next year. We just received our first 7-figure grant for that to implement it from beginning to the end. We have community events on our farms. Every month of the year, we have a community event. So we keep our families and our children engaged throughout the year. Again, when you're growing a child, it's not like growing a plant. The season is so small, but when you're growing a child, that's forever.
Okay. Yes, I love to hear you say growing child, because that is what you're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Exactly what you're doing. And I know, Ms. Sharon, that there are people going, well, wait a minute, I want to go back to that money.
Yes.
So is this still available, or has that ended with?
No, it's still available, and it will be available until 2025. So I encourage everybody, if you have not looked into it, get your information. You're going to have to provide some documents, but make it happen, because the money is there. The intention is to bring it back in so that we can boost the economy, create and save jobs, and leave a legacy with Harlem Grown.
Yeah, and you can do that with this assistance that you
cash in hand.
You've essentially earned.
Right.
Absolutely. They just they're refunding the payroll taxes that you paid in 2020 and 2021.
Okay.
And let me just piggyback on that. We do the work every day, and we're inundated with solicitations, if you will. So all of a sudden, about a year ago, ERC, all these emails are popping up in my inbox. I just put them to trash until I got a call from my insurance broker telling me. So now I'm like, aren't you selling insurance? What are you talking about? What is this thing? And because the relationship, of course, I trust you, and then you give me a call about $400,000. Yes, please. May I have another? Yeah. But sure, that's. And I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, hey, she was on her job.
Yes, she was. Thank you.
And just to be clear, not everybody that's calling you soliciting is actually has something good to say, like like Sharon here is telling you. So I'm going to send folks to harlemgrown.org.
Yes.
That's and they can find out, find out a little bit more about the various programs, how they can get involved. They're children, but I'm assuming you also can use
families.
Volunteers and families.
It's families. We go from toddlers to 25. I mean, we go the whole gamut. When you're growing children, there's no cutoff.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sometimes I feel like
Yes.
Yeah. Me and all my decades. SJEdwards.com.
Correct.
Because you realize somebody's going to call you and ask you about their ERC.
They better.
Absolutely.
They better.
We're here to help.
Okay. It's wonderful to talk to you again. And like I said, if you're here, that means it's good news.
Always good news.
Right. And it's a pleasure to meet you. And I really do think I need to put you on speed dial. Okay. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.